Hey friends, what's happening? What's happening? What's shaking? What's going on out there? This is Andy coming to you again from here at my Daily Funk Club headquarters. And today I want to do a little demo for you with a couple of real special pieces of gear that I use and love and kind of hold to a gold standard here at the Daily Funk Club. First of all, the bass that I'm playing is made by Devin Smullen down in Texas, and it's a wonderful instrument, completely custom handmade instrument. It's called the classic J5, a 24 fret. So it's in the spirit of a jazz bass with a 24 fret maple fingerboard neck, and it has a beautiful flame maple top and matching headstock, torque guard, couple of Bartolini pickups in it, and the Sadowski 4-control drop-in preamp. So, and Hipshot hardware, you know, Hipshot lollipops and Hipshot bridge. So this instrument is just absolutely top-notch. It's the cream of the crop. That's both pickups. Now here's the back pickup. Right, great back pickup sound, total Jaco Burke for days. And then now here's just the front pickup. Absolutely wonderful instrument. I dare say perfectly made. And one of the best things about it that that makes it so useful to me is that it's held up so perfect. Meaning, I've had it for over a year now, and I use this a lot. I use this a lot in my primary band, the Johnny O band. I take it on a lot of gigs. It's held up perfectly. I have not had to do anything to it. At one point I sent it back to Devin, but that was only because I asked him to reshape the neck for me to make it a little bit different profile on the back of the neck. There was no, and at that point he put in the drop-in Sadowski preamp for me, but otherwise it's held up perfectly, and I've used it on lots and lots of gigs, and everything about it is just holding up fantastic. Now the other thing I wanted to mention to you is the rig that I'm using, which is the Bergantino Forte head, HDN 210 cabinet, and HDN 212 cabinet. These are both Neo cabinets. The 210 is an 8-ohm box, and the 212, which is absolutely killer, the standard of everything that I gauge, gauge anything against as far as 212s go, is 4 ohms, and the head easily will run down to 2.6 ohms. It's just a fantastic rig. Everything about it, very transparent, very natural and clear sounding, which is what I like. You know, when it comes to getting my tone is just basically a very transparent, amplified version of what's coming off of my hands and what's coming off of the bass. If I do any EQing, it's on the instrument itself, which is not much. And typically I just run the EQ completely flat, which is how I have it now. Well, at noon, and the amp just sounds fantastic, and basically makes everything that I'm doing louder. And that's what I'm after. I'm never really after a lot of EQ coloration and boosting and and kind of a hyped, hi-fi kind of a sound. I like everything just, you know, dead flat, because all the nuance of everything that I do really comes out with that flat EQ structure. It might take a little bit of getting used to, because, you know, a lot of times we can get kind of addicted to this boom sizzle kind of a sound that was kind of became popular like back in the 80s with the SWR rigs, and you know, the 410s with the horn in them, this kind of boom sizzle thing, and a really crisp punchy slap bass sound. And when the thing that happens with that is that when we get addicted to it, we're not really doing ourselves that good of a service. We need to bring an equal amount of mid-range back into our tone. When we do that and get used to hearing our instrument that way, it's going to transfer and it's going to reach out into the performance area and into the listening environment much better, because the low mids and the mid-range frequencies is where the instrument really speaks and where the human ear really hears it. Sadowski drop-in preamp. It's a fantastic preamp, very musical, completely noiseless. I can go between both pickups, you know, front to back, no problem. I just love it. It has a passive tone on there, which I have at about 80% right now. So that's kind of how I get my sound. You know, I leave the amplifier flat. I do any EQing that I'm going to want to do on the bass, which is not much. And I just typically go between the blend control, front to back, and if it has two volume controls, I'm messing with those. And then the passive tone control. There's so many different varieties of things happening within the passive tone control. And this bass by Devin Smolin is just fantastic. You know, the fact that I use it on so many gigs and I take it out, I'm very comfortable. And that last little thing when I was playing, I was trying to demonstrate that I'm really familiar with the neck. Scale, and my hand just has kind of gotten used to where everything is, so I can really get around on it well without having to stare at the neck all the time. And that's something that I'm working on. You know, I was just at Victor Wooten's bass camp, and he was like, man, look at the audience more. Don't look at your instrument so much. You play better when you're looking at your audience than you do when you're looking at your instrument. We did a little experiment, and he was right. And I'm guilty of that, you know what I mean? I look at the neck. I'm always looking at the neck, and I need to break myself of that habit. So I'll be working on that. That's one of my goals, is to look at the neck less and look at my audience more and just be real familiar with the instrument. That's going to come from practicing. That's going to come from, you know, the thing is I switch around from a lot of different instruments, but you know, if we have one instrument that's our primary and we play that all the time, then we'll become more and more and more and more familiar with where everything's at with the left hand. One good thing is that I only play 34 scale basses, 5s and 4s mostly. So, you know, anything in a 34 I can pretty much get confident and comfortable and familiar with very quickly. When I switch to a short scale bass or when I switch to a 35, that's when I start to have some problems. Because my hands are just not used to it. You know, I've been playing for about 36, 37 years, whatever it is, and I've always played 34. So when I switch to something shorter or something longer, my muscle memory and everything like that is a little bit off, and I have to adapt. So, and when I'm playing one of those instruments, I have to be a little bit more focused. Although lately I've been playing some shorter ones, and now I'm starting to get a real familiar kind of feel on the shorter scale basses. But 35s, I don't do well on 35. It actually hurts my hand and my arm and stuff, and it feels really reachy. But yeah, I'm just rambling a little bit now, but I just wanted to tell you about this instrument, this beautiful Devon Classic J24, and of course the Bergantino rig, which, as I said, I hold at a gold standard around here. I kind of borrowed that term from my friend Tom Bowless at Bass Gear Magazine, because they do a lot of reviews, and at some point you have to have something that kind of sits at the top and what you gauge everything else against. And in terms of the lightweight Neo realm of boutique amplifiers, Bergantino is the gold standard for me. And then there's a bunch of different variations of that you know, other companies that are doing similar things. And there's a lot of different price points. So if we're looking into amplification equipment, the Daily Funk Club has evolved into a big time like amplification kind of place to come hear them. That was not really my initial objective, but just within the last year I've taken out a lot of other amplifier brands, and including GR Bass and Gensler, which is totally killer. The Gensler system, the bass array system, is fantastic for a full range, really, really well and uniquely engineered rig. The Gensler stuff is fantastic. And then, you know, we have stuff like the Mesa Boogie, which is kind of gold standard for me, for like build quality. Everything about build quality I gauge against Mesa Boogie, because they are the highest quality in terms of USA build quality. So, yeah, you know, I don't know what else to tell you about today, but I did want to share this video with you and make a little video and have some fun here. And I just encourage you to check out all the different amplifier brands and go try them. You know what I mean? See what works for you. My place in all of this is really to just generate some interest. And if you like what you hear with any of the gear or any of the instruments that I'm playing in any of my videos, go to the website of the brand. Talk to the product specialist for that brand who's employed by them. Check out other demo videos, really nice produced demo videos with a lot of, you know, a different kind of, my videos are very casual, but a lot of the companies do detailed demo videos with close-ups and a lot of different sound settings and EQ settings and things like that. So if you see something that you like here, go and check it out from the brand themselves.